Okay, ladies, I'm talking to all you girl bosses, those that have to get it all done or it doesn't count. I'm actually talking to me, by the way, just so you know. For example, like back when I was a runner, let's say I decided I was going to run 5 miles, and I'd get back to my house and my Garmin would say that I had only run 4.91. Well, my husband would just go in the house. He was done. We're home. Why keep going? Not this girl. I ran up and down the street until it went ding at 5 miles. Like, no kidding. If I didn't do it exactly the way I thought it had to be done, it just didn't count for whatever reason. I was always pushing myself harder than anybody else I knew. And anytime I had a problem before me, I made sure that I attacked it as perfectly as possible, crossed every T, dotted every I, because I didn't want to get to the end of whatever program I was on or trial I was doing and then not have success and think, oh, well, if you had just done this one thing, it would. Well, that might seem like it's a super effective strategy to be able to get things done. It might even look successful from one point of view. What I was really doing was just kind of ignoring what my body was trying to tell me. It was telling me that stress was really wrecking me. I wasn't sleeping. I had brain fog. I was exhausted all the time. I hurt all the time. I looked good because I was thin, but I felt miserable and I just couldn't figure out why. Well, turns out that kind of mental drive and that kind of focus, while it's effective to a point, it's actually very, very stressful on your body because you're operating in a primarily sympathetic dominant nervous state. And cortisol is just constantly getting pumped through your body, which is very inflammatory. And that causes a whole cascade of problems that create these symptoms that we struggle with, specifically weight gain. It took me a few years to realize that I was actually creating the very environment that was causing all the symptoms I was dealing with. I thought that I was going to make it better. I thought that I was going to turn the corner and, lose weight again and feel better and all the things because I was doing all these things that, were supposed to help, but they weren't. I was actually making it worse for myself and I didn't know it because I was increasing that stress burden. And what that ended up doing was wrecking my digestion, wrecking my gut. It tanked my immune system and let different infections kind of take place. It let pathogens flourish in my body that shouldn't have been there, that my immune system would have normally gotten rid of for me without any notice on my part. And I created a ton of mineral deficiencies, and because when you're stressed, you burn through minerals quickly, and I didn't have the energy to do the basic functions that my cells needed on a daily basis. It wasn't about being lazy or not motivated. It wasn't about being disciplined. In fact, I had all those things in spades. In fact, I went to the far extreme, like working out twice a day, 6 days a week, eating 1,200 calories or less every day. I didn't just do it part way. I did nothing halfway. I was at 150% at best. But the problem is all of that stress and that drive kept me ramped up in this sympathetic state and kept me very inflamed. And that inflammation is still to this day something that I'm battling. And my body is actually trying to protect me from the consequences of that inflammation by holding on to weight. So if that sounds like you, if you're one of those people that's just like balls to the wall, can't say no, has to do everything, and is trying so hard, but you're not getting the results you want, it could very well be that the trying hard is the reason why. So I want to invite you to be curious. Just be curious. Think about, why are you doing the things that you're doing? Are they working for you? Did they work in the past? But are they working now? And why, if they're not working, are you still continuing to do them? That's the definition of insanity, right? It's doing the same thing over and over again and expecting a different result. If you're not getting the result, there's got to be a reason why. And it probably isn't your dedication or your motivation. It probably isn't even your discipline. It's not all these like mindset words. It could very well be that there's something underlying all of this that has become a consequence of the stress in your life that you've just never looked at before. And maybe it's just time to take a completely different perspective and look at your health from a different way. This is why I do what I do every single day. I had my own health journey. I'm still on that journey, and I quit my job to become a practitioner to get answers that I just was not getting through traditional means. And once I found the answers I was looking for, everything made sense. And as I've been going through this journey, I have healed dozens of symptoms that are just gone now. And I feel so much better than I did just a few years ago. It's crazy how just a different perspective can unlock so much for you. And I want to offer that to you. I want to offer you the opportunity to be curious about it, to think about things from a different perspective, and have somebody on your team that doesn't think you're lazy, that doesn't think you're not trying hard enough, and isn't going to throw a bunch of crap at you to keep doing, but instead invite you to just think about it from a different perspective and try something new. And you'd be amazed at what you would be able to uncover with that.